Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's day 5 question is check if array is sorted and rotated. It is 1752 question in LeetCode. So first of all, let us try to understand the question. Here the question says that he will give an array and we should return true if the array is sorted and we should return false if the array is not sorted. Here the meaning of sorted and it is mentioned in the question that the array is sorted in non-decreasing order, that is from small to big. So here it is there is also one more case that the array is acceptable even if the array is sorted after any number of rotations. For example, let's take 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. Here the given array is not sorted. First of all, what is rotating an array means? Rotating an array by one position means keeping the last element at the first one. So if you rotate this array one time, it will become 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. If you rotate this array one more time, it will become 1, 2, this is comma, okay, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you observe, after this is one rotation, this is another rotation. After two rotations, our given array is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Of course, it is sorted. So this is what the question is. It is even acceptable if the given array is sorted irrespective of any number of rotations. It can be any number of rotations. If the array is sorted after the rotation, then you can return true. So here, now let's take an opposite case where rotation fails. So let's take an example of another example. 3, 4, 5, 2, 6. So when you see, firstly, is this a sorted array? No, it is not sorted. Let's try to rotate it by one number. If you rotate this by one number, see, it will become 6, 3, 4, 5, 2. Here you can clearly see that if here 6 is there, here it is there 3. See, this is 3 and this is 6. Even when you rotate this element to 3, see, let's try to rotate. Firstly, let's rotate 2, 2, 2, 6, 3, 4, 5. Okay, actually our 3 should come before this 6 if we need sorted. Okay, our 6 should go to last. Now let's try to rotate again. 5, 2, 6, 3, 4. Again 4, 5, 2, 6, 3. Again 3, 4, 5, 2, 6. You can see here we get the same array, but in every case our array is not sorted. Why it is not sorted? Because you can clearly say that our starting element is smaller than the the end element, because every time if the array is sorted, if it should be sorted by rotating, our last element must be smaller than the first element. So in the first case we have taken it as 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. You can check it here. See, our 3 is greater than 2. When you rotate here, when you rotate this array, it will become, first it will go 2 and then 1 and it will become 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Simply the number in front of the 3 is smaller. That means the number in front of the beginning element will be always the end element. It is sure, and that element must be smaller than the first element. So this is one edge case. Means by this logic we should solve our question. First of all, now let's try to understand what the dropout is. See, dropout means simply here we have 3, 4, 5. It is increasing, and 2, 6 suddenly decreasing. 2, 6. So this is a dropout. If there is no dropout in our array, it is sorted, and if there is one dropout or if there is more than one dropout, our array is will not sort at any cost, because you have 1, 2, 3 and dropout 1, 2, 6, 2. Here 1, 2, 3, 1 dropout 1, 2, 6, again dropout 2. If you have two dropouts, at any, you may rotate any times, but our array will never get sorted. So simply, if we have zero dropouts, our array is sorted. If we didn't get any, if we get more than zero drop, means if our number of dropouts is not equal to 0, then simply our array is not sorted. But there is one case. What is that case? If our array is dropout one time, it can be sorted. How to check? The only case when our array is sorted is the starting element must be bigger than the end element. It only one case, if there is one dropout, it must satisfy one condition, that is our starting element must be larger than the end element. If this satisfies, then our given array can be sorted. Of course, it is not sorted by default, but it can be sorted by rotating. So by this, let's try to write a code. First, let's try to write the logic. See, now here, first what we will do is, firstly we will declare a variable drop equal to 0, and we will travel through the array. We will travel through the array from I is equal to 0 to last array size minus 1, and we will check if there is any dropout. Dropout means the before element, that is nums of I minus, if nums of I is greater, before element is greater than the after element, nums of I plus 1. If such that, then simply add 1 to drop, that is drop plus plus. What happens if there is, in such cases our drop will increase. If now also, this is our statement within the for loop. After that, come out of the, when the array ends, our drop will become to any some number, and then also write another condition. If just simply check one condition, if the nums of 0 means our first element is smaller than the our end element. If our first element is smaller than our end element, then simply drop plus place. By this, what happens? See, if we have 0, simply we can return, if our drop is equal to 0, our number of drops is equal to 0, we can simply return our array is sorted. If it is equal to 1, if there is a equal to 1 case, now we have to check whether the number is, first element is smaller or bigger to compare with the end element. Just we will try to check it with opposite case. If our first element is smaller than the larger element, I mean bigger, if our first element is smaller than the end element, then we will simply drop plus plus. By this, what happens? Our drop will becomes 2. It will never become 1. It will become 1 only if our bigger element, our front element, that is our beginning element, is always bigger than end element. At this one case only, our drop will become 1. So now just simply return, if x equal to 0 or x equal to 1, either of one case, we will return true. If not, we will return false. So here, firstly let's introduce one variable, that is int drop is equal to 0. By this, we will count how many drops. Firstly, we will travel to the array for int I is equal to 0 to I less than nums dot length. I have told you about this nums dot length. It's a built-in function in Java, in my previous videos also. I plus plus. Yeah, check if there is a dropout. How will you check the before element, that is nums of I, the present element. If it is greater than the next element, nums of I plus 1, then simply what we have to do, increment our drop, post increment, drop plus place. Okay, now by this, what we will get one thing. So I forgot to write I here. Yeah, so by this, what happens is, all the how many dropouts are present in our array, we will get to know. If the dropouts present if the drops present, if the number of dropouts present is equal to 0, that if there are no dropouts, you can simply return true. So our array is sorted. Or else, even if the drop is equal to 1, we can simply return true. But we need another condition to satisfy. What is that? Our condition that if 3, our first element must be bigger than the end element. So we will just write another condition, that if we will write opposite condition. If our first element, we will assume that if our first element is smaller and our last element, that is nums dot length minus 1, if it is, if the condition is like this, if our first element is smaller than the end element, then simply drop plus plus. Okay, now what happens if even if here there is drop equal to 1 at here drop plus plus, it will check if whether the end elements is in correct position or not. After checking that, if it is in wrong positions, then our drop becomes plus plus and drop becomes 2. So simply now we can directly return, if drop equal to 0 or drop equal to 1, we can simply return true, else false. Now let's try to run our code. What is, sorry, I didn't add a return statement here. If num, yeah, it is nums, not num. If yeah here one more error, that our if you run our loop until the end size of the array, it will lead to it in out of bounds. So we should run the loop one step back, that is we should keep here -1. Now let's try to run. Yeah, now let's try to submit our code. Yes, it is submitting. Thanks for watching the video and subscribe for the next content.